Oh, right. Okay. Audio. And then Hare Krishna online devotees, can you hear us? आप सुन पा रहे हैं हमें?
Yes, we hear you. So
Okay.
good. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Good. And there we go. So we had done up to verse number 26 on chapter 2. But before we go any further, I thought it will be good just to go through the Bhagavatam verse for the day. And I was going through Prithu Maharaj's pastime. Prithu Maharaj was a very good king. He instructed his citizens in a good manner. He instructed them to take the path of devotional service. And the similar instructions were given to Prithu Maharaj by Lord Vishnu himself. Prithu Maharaj passed on those instructions to his citizens. It's a king's duty that he should create situations, circumstances, education for his people, for his citizens, so that they can get delivered from this material existence. एक राजा का कर्तव्य है कि वो अपनी प्रजा को शिक्षा दे, एक अनुकूल परिस्थिति उत्पन्न करे ताकि उनका इस भौतिक जगत से उद्धार हो सके. ये राजा की द किंग्स ड्यूटी इज नॉट जस्ट टू कलेक्ट टैक्सेस. द किंग्स ड्यूटी इज primarily to make sure that his subjects, his citizens are doing devotional service. राजा का पहला कर्तव्य कर वसूल करना या टैक्स वसूल करना नहीं है. सबसे पहला उसका कर्तव्य जो शास्त्रों में लिखा है वो ये है कि उसे अपने प्रजा का भगवत भक्ति के द्वारा उद्धार करना है. मंदिर बनाए, उनको सत्संग में लगाए, उनको वर्णाश्रम धर्म का पालन करने की के लिए कहे. So the same Prithu Maharaj, now having fulfilled all his duties, he has handed over his kingdom to his sons. I think he had 5 sons. And Mother Archie, his wife, they both are born from Vena. Vain was the father of Prithu Maharaj. Vain was a very bad king. And when he died, or when he was removed by the Brahmins, he was an atrocious king. So they churned his arms. एक वेन नामक राजा थे जो पृथु महाराज के पिता थे, बहुत बुरे राजा थे. संतों ने उन्हें मंत्र बोलकर उनका इस दुनिया से प्रस्थान करवा दिया ताकि एक नए राजा की स्थापना की जा सके. और वेन जो एक बुरे राजा थे, उनके दोनों हाथों को जोर से हिलाया गया. When they churned the hands or the arms of Wayne, a male and a female body came out. One was from the right hand was Prithu Maharaj. The churning of the right arm, Prithu Maharaj manifested. दायां हाथ हिलाने से, दायां बाजू हिलाने से पृथु महाराज की उत्पत्ति हुई. And by the churning of the left hand, Archie, his wife, was manifested. उनकी उत्पत्ति हुई बाएं हाथ से, अर्ची माता की. And now, Prithu Maharaj, by his yogic process, has given up his life, his body, Archie Mata has also performed the sati. They both are going to Vaikuntha in separate airplanes. पृथु महाराज ने अपना शरीर त्याग दिया है योगिक सिद्धि के द्वारा। अर्ची माता ने भी सती प्रथा के द्वारा अपने शरीर का त्याग कर दिया है। ये दोनों अब वैकुंठ की तरफ प्रस्थान कर रहे हैं। दोनों अलग अलग आध्यात्मिक हवाई जहाजों में हैं। दे बोथ आर इन सेपरेट एयरप्लेन्स एंड द डेमी गॉडेसेस, द हायर प्लैनेट्स, देयर आर डेमी गॉड, देवी देवता हैं ऊपर के जगत में। देयर वाइफ्स, they are looking at these two airplanes going, and they are appreciating the exalted position of Prithu Maharaj and his wife. कि अभी तो ये पृथ्वी पे थे और अब ये देखो वैकुंठ की तरफ जा रहे हैं और हम वहीं के वहीं हैं। लुक, दे आर गोइंग टू द वैकुंठ लोका बट वी आर वेयर वी वर, even though these demigods' wives are in such an exalted position, but they're happy to see and they're aspiring that the way Prithu Maharaj and his wife are going to Vaikuntha, they are hoping one day they get a chance. They're feeling that something has lacked in their devotional service. उन्हें लग रहा है इन देवताओं की पत्नियों को लग रहा है ऊपर के जगत में, इनके जगत जो स्वर्ग से भी ऊपर हैं, वहां देख रही हैं कि ये हवाई जहाज दोनों हमसे भी ऊपर जा रहे हैं और उनको लग रहा है हमारी भक्ति में कुछ कमी रह गई है। देखो अर्ची और पृथु महाराज जा रहे हैं। एंड नाउ वी आर कमिंग टू द conclusion of this pastime. पृथु महाराज की लीला यहां समाप्त हो रही है। When I'm reciting this verse, over here Prithu Maharaj pastime is finished, and Maitreya Muni, who is actually describing this pastime of Prithu Maharaj to Vidura, the disciple, Guru is describing this Leela to his disciple about Prithu Maharaj and Archi Mata. Now he is telling his disciple, Guru is telling that always, not only just you should glorify Krishna, you must also glorify his devotees. सिर्फ कृष्ण की ही उपासना नहीं करनी है, सिर्फ कृष्ण का ही गान नहीं गाना है, कृष्ण के भक्तों का भी गुणगान करना है। And that is a learning lesson for us. And there are some advantages, especially from Prithu Maharaj pastime. I thought we are all struggling in this material world. इस लीला में, पृथु महाराज की लीला में हमें बहुत कुछ सीखने को है। और क्योंकि हम भौतिक जगत में तड़प रहे हैं, let us see how this pastime helps us. Maitreya Muni has given some solutions to this material life through Prithu Maharaj's pastime. So let's just recite these two verses, just the translations. We'll not go into the details. Jatas, oh sorry, I'm on the wrong. Yeah. Ya idam sumahat punyam shraddhavan hita pathet. Shraddhaya vahita pathet. Pathet means to read, to study. Shraddhaya, by Shraddha, faithfully. Shravech, Shavayech, Shunayad vapi, va api, vapi. Sa Prithoho, Prithu Maharaj, Padvim yat. Translation. Any person who describes the great characteristics of Prithu Maharaj with faith and determination. Now, I am describing to you, Bhagavatam described to me, a saintly figure described, and then I am passing it to you. Please do pass it on to others. आप भी ये लीला आगे पढ़िएगा. Any person who describes the great characteristics of Prithu Maharaj with faith and determination, whether he reads or hears of them himself or helps others to hear of them, is certain. इसका फल क्या मिलेगा? This is a फलश्रुति. Is certain to attain the very planet with Maharaj Prithu attained. अगर आप यही लीला खुद पढ़ेंगे या दूसरों को पढ़ाएंगे तो आपको भी पृथु महाराज जिस ग्रह पे गए हैं वैकुंठ लोक में, वही ग्रह आपको भी प्राप्त होगा. इन अदर वर्ड्स, such a person also returns home to the Vaikuntha planets, back to Godhead. And the next verse, now you may say, you have told us, but what about us? We are not telling anyone. And the next verse says, Mataji, would you like to read that?
Yes.
Loud enough, please, for them.
One of the characteristics of Prithu Maharaj and is a Brahman, he becomes perfectly qualified with Brahminical powers. If he is a Kshatriya, he becomes a king of the world. If he is a Vaishya, he becomes a master of other Vaishyas and many animals. And if he is a Sudra, he becomes that topmost devotee.
Very important. If one hears, अगर कोई सुनता है of the characteristics, विशेषताओं को, किसकी विशेषता? Of Prithu Maharaj. If anyone hears the glories of Prithu Maharaj, and if you are a Brahman, अगर आप ब्राह्मण हैं तो आपको क्या फल मिलेगा? He becomes perfectly qualified with Brahminical powers. आप और प्रचंड ब्राह्मण बन जाएंगे. If he is a Kshatriya, लेकिन अगर आप क्षत्रिय हैं, what will be the benefit to you? That Kshatriya becomes a king of the world. दुनिया का राजा बनेगा. If you are a Vaishya, अगर आप वैश्य हैं, खेती बाड़ी करते हैं या गाय का ध्यान रखते हैं, वाणिज्य का ध्यान रखते हैं, फाइनेंस, then you will become a master of other Vaishyas and many animals. गाय रखते थे तो बहुत गाय हो जाएंगी, बहुत उन्नति होगी आपकी. And if you are a Shudra, which 99% of the population of today's world is, Shudra is the one who works for the other three classes. As long as you're working for somebody, you're a Shudra. If he's a Shudra, जो कि हम हैं, he becomes the topmost devotee. आप सबसे बड़े भक्त बन जाएंगे. कब बनेंगे? When will that happen? If you hear the characteristics of Prithu Maharaj. So, if you get a chance, please do read through these. I think there are 6 chapters from 19 onwards, I think, to 23. If you read all these pastimes of Prithu Maharaj, I think it's from 9, chapter 9 to 23, then you're bound to get definitely elevated. And there are other verses which say you'll be getting freed from the material diseases. Kam, Krodh, Moh, Mad, Matsare, all that you'll start to get freed. That's how important this pastime is. Let me just see how many chapters are there. So I think it's from Nahaya. Dhruva Maharaj returns home. No, 11, Swayambhuva. Yeah, it's from, it's from chapter 14 when Vena's story starts and goes all the way till 23. And Prithu Maharaj is born in chapter 15, I think. Prithu Maharaj's appearance, 15 to 23. Okay, so we know how to get rid of or how to get quick success if we can read In one of the places it's mentioned, Prabhupada mentions, actually it's in a verse also. We must read this pastime 3 times. If you can do it 3 times, definitely you'll succeed. Okay, so today's verse. Not necessary. 3 times. Harer Naam, Harer Naam. So how many times Harer Naam?
3 times.
Thank you. So that's why the repetition is the essence. Okay. So today's verse 2.27. So far, Arjun is being again and again told, you got your gurus in front of you, you're afraid of killing them, but what you're looking at the body of your gurus is not your actual gurus. The soul within those bodies is your actual guru, and that soul you cannot hurt. आपके गुरु जो आपके सामने खड़े हैं, जिनका आप वध करने से डर रहे हैं, घबराइए नहीं। वो शरीर जो आपको नजर आ रहा है, वो शरीर वैसे भी नाशवान है। एंड द आत्मा विद इन दैट बॉडी, जो उनके अंदर आत्मा है, वो असली गुरु हैं, और उस आत्मा को तुम कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे। ना तोड़ पाओगे, ना सुखा पाओगे, ना जला पाओगे, ना तलवार से काट पाओगे। अच्छेद्यो अहम अधायो हम अक्लेद्यो शोष एव चहा। So we did that. So now Krishna, in the last verse, who remembers the last verse, or what was the purport of the last verse? किसको याद है? What did Krishna say in the last verse? Prema Mataji, 2.26.
You think that the soul or the symptoms of life is always born and dies forever, you still have no reason to lament, O mighty armed.
So, if, however, you think that the soul is always born and dies, because Krishna had told him, soul doesn't die. Now, Krishna, in the last week, was using a different tack. He was trying to checkmate him in the game of chess. And he was telling him, even if you think, मैंने कहा है, soul doesn't die. I have told you soul doesn't die. But if you think soul dies, and if you think soul takes birth again, still you do not have to lament. If they die, they will take birth again. If you die, you will take birth again. Your sins are finished with your body, with your soul, previous soul. Now Krishna is continuing further. Because in the end, Krishna said to Arjun, you should not lament. शोक करने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं है, अगर तुम समझते हो कि ये आत्मा भी मर जाती है, लेकिन आत्मा वापस आ जाएगी। मरती है और आ जाती है, तो तुमको क्यों शोक करना है? वाई आर यू क्राइंग इफ द आत्मा डाइज एंड कम्स बैक अगेन, बिकम्स अलाइव अगेन? वाई आर यू क्राइंग देन? एंड नाउ Arjun may say, let me just bring the presentation and then we can take it up from there. Now Arjun may say, why should one not lament? मैं शोक क्यों ना करूं? And this is what Krishna is explaining him, why he should not lament. Okay, let's see if I can bring it this way. Please repeat after me. जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्योर ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्माद् अपरिहार्यर्थे ना त्वं शोचितुम् अर्हसि। जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्योर ध्रुवम जन्म मृतस्य च तस्माद् अपरिहार्यर्थे नौतम शोचितम अर्हसि. माता जी, डू यू वांट ट्राई? जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्योर ध्रुवम जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्यर्थे न त्वं शोचितुम् अर्हसि. Any other Mataji's? जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्योर ध्रुवम जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्यर्थे न त्वं शोचितुम् अर्हसि. Anyone online would like to try?
Jatsa hi dhruva martya
जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्योर
dhruva janama martyasya cha
ध्रुवम जन्म मृतस्य च
tasmad aparhaya
तस्मादपरिहार्यर्थे
natvam sotram archahasi.
नातं शोचितुम् अर्हसि. Thank you very much. So let's go through translation. Time is less, so we'll just jump into translation straight. One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. Mataji, would you like to try Hindi one, please?
जिसने जन्म लिया है उसकी मृत्यु निश्चित है और मृत्यु के पश्चात पुनर्जन्म भी निश्चित है। अतः अपने अपरिहार्य कर्तव्य पालन से मुझे शोक नहीं करना चाहिए।
अतः अपने अपरिहार्य कर्तव्य पालन में तुम्हें शोक नहीं करना. Krishna is saying this. Krishna, if Arjun is thinking that I must lame, why should I not lame? मैं क्यों ना शोक करूं? This is Arjun's thinking. So Krishna is countering that argument before Arjun can even ask. अर्जुन के दिल में है कि क्यों ना मैं शोक करूं, चाहे आत्मा जीवित रहे ना रहे, मेरा गुरु तो नजर नहीं आएंगे. वाई शुड आई नॉट लेमेंट? सो कृष्णा इज टेलिंग हिम, जिसने जन्म लिया है उसकी मृत्यु निश्चित है. वन हु हैज टेकन हिज बर्थ इज श्योर टू डाई. दैट what Krishna is trying to pacify Arjun is, for example, Arjun, if you do not kill your gurus, आपने, हे अर्जुन, इफ यू डू नॉट किल द्रोणाचार्य एंड भीष्मा, हे अर्जुन, अगर तुम द्रोण या भीष्म को नहीं मारते हो, व्हाट विल हैपन? ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम देयर बॉडीज विल बिकम ओल्ड. समय के साथ उनका शरीर बूढ़ा होगा ही और उनको अपना शरीर त्यागना ही पड़ेगा. एंड देयरफॉर दैट बॉडी विल बी गिवन अप, दैट बॉडी विल डाई एनीवे. वो तो वैसे भी मरेगी, बिकॉज this is the law of the material nature. One who has taken his birth is sure to die. That's a law. And after death, one is sure to take birth again. और मृत्यु के बाद उसका जन्म दोबारा जरूर होता है. Therefore, अतः, in the unavoidable discharge, अपने अपरिहार्य कर्तव्य पालन में, you should not lament. And we'll see the meaning of the word unavoidable. Why Krishna is using the word unavoidable discharge of your duty. Okay. Purport. Mataji, do you want to start? Loud enough, please.
One has to take birth according to one's activity of life. And after finishing one term of activity, one has to die to take birth
For the
for
next.
the next. In this way, one is going through the cycle of birth and death, another without liberation. After one after another without liberation. The cycle of birth and death does not, however, support unnecessarily murder, slaughter, and war. But at the same time, violence and war are inevitable factors in human society
for
for keeping law and order.
But any other?
The first section, being the will of the Supreme, what is in the ethical of him, and to fight for the right cause is the duty of a judgment. Why should he be afraid of or aggrieved at the death of his relatives, since he was charging his property to? He did not deserve to break the law, thereby becoming subjected to the reactions of sympathies, for which he was so afraid. By avoiding the discharge of his property to, he would not be able to stop the death of his relatives, and he would be degraded due to his selection of the
Wrong path. Very good. Wrong path of action. Didi, online, do you want to read this one paragraph?
I can read next one.
Okay,
Please.
Do you want to read this?
मनुष्य को अपने कर्मों के अनुसार जन्म ग्रहण करना होता है और एक कर्म अवधि समाप्त होने पर उसे मरना होता है, जिससे वह दूसरा जन्म ले सके। इस प्रकार मुक्ति प्राप्त किए बिना हो ही जन्म मृत्यु का यह चक्र चलता रहता है। जन्म मरण के इस चक्र से वृथा हत्या वध तथा युद्ध का समर्थन नहीं होता, किंतु मानव समाज में
जाऊं?
दीदी म्यूट कर लो दीदी।
Oh, sorry.
किंतु मानव समाज में शांति तथा व्यवस्था बनाए रखने के लिए हिंसा तथा युद्ध अपरिहार्य
है। दीदी, do you want to read the next one now? This one? कुरुक्षेत्र का युद्ध भगवान की इच्छा होने के कारण अपरिहार्य था और सत्य के लिए युद्ध करना क्षत्रिय का धर्म है। अतः अपने कर्तव्य का पालन करते हुए वह स्वजनों की मृत्यु से भयभीत या शोकाकुल क्यों था? वह विधि कानून को भंग नहीं करना चाहता था। दिस इज अर्जुन टैग। वह विधि या कानून को भंग नहीं करना चाहता था, क्योंकि ऐसा करने से उसे उन पाप कर्मों के फल भोगने पड़ेंगे जिनसे वह अत्यंत भयभीत था। अपने कर्तव्य का पालन करते हुए वह स्वजनों की मृत्यु को रोक नहीं सकता था, और यदि वह अनुचित कर्तव्य पथ का चुनाव करे तो उसे नीचे गिरना होगा। See, it's a very important purport actually. Prabhupada has described many things here. One has to take birth according to one's activities of life. What did we see in the translation? Let's have a look. Quick. One has to take birth. One has to take birth according to one's activities of life. And then Prabhupada is saying, therefore, in the unavoidable, if you die, you will definitely take birth again. That is what Prabhupada is hitting at. Unavoidable. Arjun, when your teachers give up their bodies, they are bound to take birth again. Why? Why?
Because they have finished their activities.
They have?
They have finished their activities and then they take birth again.
If they have finished their activities, why should they take birth again?
Unless they have done devotional activities, they have to come back.
Okay, they have done some devotional service.
Because it says, yeah, once you take a birth, then you have to, then you die, you have to die.
Yes.
And once you die, then you take another.
But why?
Because it's according to your karma, your activities.
Very good. Now go a little bit more pinpointed. Yes, it is because of your karmas. It says here, as per your activities of life.
And that is karma. It's unavoidable. So you still have to go through that.
I did some karma in my previous life. Okay?
Yeah.
I did some karma in my previous life. Now I am facing the results in this life. Keep this very carefully. When we die, जब हमारी मृत्यु होती है, at that time all our previous karmas for which we got this body, they are cleared. All
They're
that
clear.
they're cleared. We have all bhugat liya. We have suffered from those.
I hate Prabhu, sorry. Prabhu, sorry, I hate that you carry on some of your karmas in this life,
Uh-huh.
and then from this life, you're gonna finish some of those bad things. It gets reduced, but you whatever you accumulate, you have to carry on in the next
This is
life.
what I'm wait. So you have finished. Yesha, you have finished those. You die. Whatever you are doing your karmas in this life is going to dictate your next body. इस जन्म में जो कर्म किए हैं, that will dictate your next body.
Not any leftovers from the previous karma.
Generally not. Generally not in the sense, generally you will end up paying for them. Unless there are multiples and then you have to face multiple times. But because Krishna does say, I think in can you please open 16th chapter, verse number 19 and 20. I'll explain to you. Yep. Tanaham Dishtan Puran Samsareshu Narhadaman. So Krishna says here, those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, I perpetually cast them into the ocean of material existence. जो ईर्ष्यालु होते हैं, भगवान से जलते हैं, शैतान होते हैं, I perpetually, हमेशा, birth after birth, cast them into the ocean of material, into various demoniac species of life. वहां पे क्लियर नहीं होगा. If you have these characteristics, then no. Next one, verse number 20. Attaining repeated birth, आसुरीम योनिम आपन्ना, जिसको आसुरी योनि मिल गई, attaining repeated birth among the species of demoniac life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Birth after birth after birth, they'll be only in demoniac bodies, demon bodies. शैतान का शरीर मिलता ही रहेगा उनको. These are the cases where there पिछले जन्म के कर्म, the previous life karmas do not finish with this life. Okay? So, whatever you are doing in this life is actually you're creating a body for the next life. Okay? And this is unavoidable. कुछ तो कर्म करेगा. If you have done all good karmas, pious karmas, let's not call it good, let's call it pious karmas. If you have done all pious karmas, गरीब को खाना दिया, you put a shelter for the homeless, you did all good things. What happens?
You get a good
Come back.
day,
You still come back. Do you come back? For what? To enjoy the results of those good karmas. फिर जन्म लेना पड़ेगा. So even doing pious activities are really not good for you. They're painful for you eventually. Any pious activity done in this life, or good activity done in this life, is meant to give you pain again. Why? पुनरपि जननम पुनरपि मरणम. फिर से मां के गर्भ में जाएगा. Again back in the womb of your mother. 9 months inside that. काल कोठरी में बंद है. Canto 3, chapter 30, yeah, 30. There are Jantur prayers. When we as small living entity are in the womb of the mother, in that dark cell, jail mein, that time we actually pray. We remember 100 births. 100 janam yaad aate hain pichle. And then we pray to Krishna, I'll never do this again. So that's painful stage. Despite doing good karma, you're back into that Kal Kotri for 9 months, praying, Mujhe nikalo, please get me out of here. So even good things are really not good for you in material world. So what is good then? Only devotional service. What if I combine the both? You get the mixed results. Now, what happens if you combine the both? Maybe you get a birth in an elevated family where you have all the facilities to do devotional service, to clear it off forever. Okay? Yeah.
We are giving to people, but we are giving Prashadam.
Uh-huh.
So that's a devotional service.
Very correct. Yes, that's a devotional service. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that if you meet people who are not conducive, then how do you give them bhakti? By name, means sankirtan karo, and by giving prasadam. That's devotional service. But if you purely give food to some hungry person, but not give actually bhakti to them, then it's only a pious activities, not devotional service. To get out, you only need devotional service and only devotional service. Okay? So, yes. Sorry, loud enough, please. Mata.
We donate food or food or Lakshmi to ISKCON society or Krishna conscious people. Yes, is it a part of the devotional service or is it part of the other one?
The 9 wings of devotional service. The 9 wings of devotional service, you know those. Shranam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Those are the 9 main limbs. Doing other activities, because Prabhupada has given us, if I tell you to chant all the time, what happens? After 2 hours, 3 hours, you'll be bored. We don't have that capacity, okay, to do 24 hours. If I tell you to just read, it's part of devotional service. One of the devotional services. If you are told to only read, what happens? You'll be bored after 8 hours. I can't read more. Right? So what Prabhupada has given is a mixture of activities, a variety of activities. So we stay engaged in some shape or form. So when you are, for example, donating to or giving charity to or donating to actually, one of the requirements which Prabhupada says time and again, and you will see in Bhagavad Gita also, and Bhagavatam also describes that 50% of our earnings should be given to the ISKCON center. So if your question is, what if we do not give money?
If we give money to devotees.
Yes, it's part of devotional service. You are following the instructions of your spiritual grandfather. And following the spiritual father and grandfather is as good as following the instructions of Krishna. They have told us to donate to the cause. If you cannot do it with money, do it with your efforts. You can be cooking for Krishna. You can be doing book distribution for Krishna. Or if you have, but you don't have time, then you can give it for as a sponsorship for the books. So let's quickly go through some of the slides and then we'll finish it. We have a big event waiting for us. So apariharya, of which it is unavoidable. Just say bacha na ja sake. Why do we say apariharya? I just explained to you. For the eternal element, the Atma, which attains birth, jatasya, by accepting a body under the laws of karma, Death is certain with the destruction of those karmas. After death, birth is certain, caused by the karmas of the previous body. This is impossible to avoid. ये तो होगा ही. That's why it is called unavoidable. What is the theme? The theme of this verse is basically karamvad. One has to take birth according to his activities in the past lives and die after finishing his term of reactions. Thus, death generates no loss in this natural cause of events. This is what Krishna is trying to make Arjun understand. Death generates no loss. मृत्यु से कभी कुछ घटता नहीं है. Instead, it is a proof that you have paid for your previous karmas. Thus, this verse helps to dispel lamentation based on the bodily concept of life. Lastly, what if Arjun still doesn't want to do it? Then we say, by avoiding his duty, Arjun would not be able to stop the death of his relatives. Agar Arjun, if you don't want to fight, you don't want to kill them, their bodies will be perishing anyway. At the same time, by avoiding your duty, he would be degraded due to the selection of the wrong path of action. Why? Because he was a Kshatriya. That's why. If he was a Brahman, no, then he doesn't have to kill. Birth is a combination of Atma with previously non-existing senses and body. And death is the separation of Atma from that body with all the senses. What is a practical application? If we apply this principle for Arjun's case, there should be no need to fear the death of relatives because fighting was his proper duty as a Kshatriya. Arjun, you are only doing your duty even if it is painful. If you don't do it, then you will be accepting karmas. Mataji, can you please open chapter 2, verse 33?
If, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter.
This is what is coming in the next few weeks when Krishna will categorically tell him, if you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, तुम क्षत्रिय है, क्षत्रिय का काम है लड़ना, you're a क्षत्रिय, your job is to fight. If you do not do your duty, it's not we don't have to fight if we are a Brahman or a Shudra or a Vaishya. You have to do your duty. But Kshatriya has to do his duty. If you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you will certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. Paap lagega. Okay. And the second practical application for Arjun is, and even for us, no need to fear sinful reactions because he did not deserve to break the law. He has not broken the law. There won't be any sinful reactions. If you're a high court judge, if you're a judge and one of your nephew is standing in the dock, would you be lenient? Would you be normal, reasonable?
Because you will be lenient because you are you have to follow the law. So even though it's your son, you have to be, give the punishment, whatever you have.
When you say the word, you have to follow the law. What does that mean? You are doing your
duty.
Thank you. That is the learning outcome. Whatever position you are in your offices, in your workplaces, out in the social environment, do your duty properly. There is no sin incurred. Okay?
Prabhu, say some of the jobs. It's just like, for instance,
Yes.
a slaughterhouse.
Uh-huh.
Yes, his duty to do that. Is really incur sin?
What are the principles?
Oh, the principle is no killing,
Yes.
Yeah.
Why no killing?
Because incurring sinful reaction, you injuring someone, you hurting
Very
someone.
correct. So what is the purport for today? आज का purport 227. Yes.
If you take a breath, you will be dying.
Then?
You take a,
हाँ, what else does it say? आज के वर्ष में क्या लिखा है और आगे? Does that give you a liberty?
die, and after death, one is sure to take breath again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge
Next,
of your duty,
in the purport, first paragraph.
sorry,
Purport, first paragraph, पढ़िए.
one has to take birth according to one's activities of life.
हाँ,
And after finishing one term of activities, one has to die to
Uh-huh.
take birth for the next.
right.
In this way, one is going through the one cycle of birth and death after another without liberation.
Right.
This cycle of birth and death does not, however, support unnecessary matter.
Read again, please, loud enough.
This cycle of birth and death does not, however, support unnecessary murder, slaughter, and war.
Thank you. Does that answer your
At the
question?
same time, violence and war are inevitable factors in human society for keeping law and order.
So, does it give you your answer?
It does, yeah.
This cycle of birth and death does not, however, support. You cannot say, I killed this animal, I haven't killed the soul of the animal. It will get another body. I'm not killing anyone. No. The meaning of what Krishna is saying cannot be extended to unlawful killing. Arjun is doing a dharmic killing. When we kill animals, we are actually stopping their progress to develop up in species. इसलिए मना किया है.
So I still I'm really confused because if a person's job is that, and that's his,
That shouldn't be the job.
they should not take it, isn't it?
There shouldn't be such a job.
Yeah. But
The job was given in the Vedas for animal sacrifice, for yagyas, so that the same animal will get a human body. That was supposed to be the success. Is the Brahman who is doing the yagya purified enough? That used to be the test of it. And it was beneficial for the animal also, because the same animal will get a higher body. Okay. So very quickly, let's just, I'm nearly finished. So, focus of learning for today, the very first one is answering your question. Unnecessary violence is not encouraged. And number two, but violence is an inevitable factor. Hai, you see how many countries are fighting right now. Ukraine to Russia, and who else? Iran to Pakistan, China to many others in Southeast Asia. Everybody is fighting. Violence is an inevitable factor. Why is there so much violence?
because it's because of this yoga,
So,
it is
Census.
for hypocrisy and wanting to be superior and wanting
Did
to
Ravan have-
material things.
did Lord Rama had a fight with Raman? So there was Dwapar Yuga. There was a fight. Treta. Dwapar Yuga, there was Mahabharat. There was a fight. So fight is in every yuga. Why does Krishna come?
To re-establish the principles of dharma and to get rid of the miscreants.
Pratranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkitam. They will always be there. Okay?
So when this thing increases, then Krishna comes.
Comes. Or he'll send one of his incarnations to deal with it. So violence is an inevitable factor. It has to be dealt with. That's why you have Kshatriyas. If there was no violence at all, there's no need to have the administrators. No need for Kshatriyas.
The Lord has given us jobs.
Mhm.
So you utilize those. There must be things must be there so that they can utilize the space like.
Chaturvarnya maya system gun karma vibhagshaha. Krishna says, I put this system in place. Chaturvarnya. Kaun se, what are the four varnas? Brahmanas, Correct? The four varna. Krishna says, I put the system in place. That means miscreants will be there. That's why Kshatriyas are there in between.
No,
Uh-huh.
even though Krishna has put this four things there in place,
Yes.
they are still, it's in even our country, my country,
Yeah.
the people are looking at Shudras very low, there are still a lot of discriminations and things going on.
They should not. They should not.
They don't drink water from a Shudra's place.
That is incorrect. That is incorrect.
So the concept has taken wrongly. I think people have
Yes.
taken it wrongly.
Yes, it has been taken wrongly.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden the Shudras decide, we will not help the other three, who's going to do the job? Who's going to build a temple? Brahman doesn't build a temple. Vaishya doesn't build a temple. Kshatriya doesn't build a temple. Who builds a temple? Shudras. Who helps Vaishyas in cultivating the field for crops? Shudras. So you can't say, well, okay. And when it comes to the importance of soul, I picked up this. Have you heard of Yudhishthir and Yaksh Samvad, the conversation between Yudhishthir and Yaksha? I'll give you a 1 minute story very quickly and then we'll finish it. Last point. Yudhishthir and his brothers, they're in exile. युधिष्ठिर और उनके भाई, 4 और भाई हैं, ये वन में जा रहे हैं, and suddenly they feel thirsty. They are hunting. They feel thirsty. And Yudhishthir tells Bhim, पानी लेके आओ, जो go and fetch some water. And Bhim goes there. I've heard two versions of, one is a lake, one is a well. Let's call it, okay, he goes to a lake. As he's about to drink some water from the lake, an entity called Yaksha, he's a semi-demigod, you can say. He comes up, manifests, and says, don't drink that water till you've answered my questions, or I'll grab you. Bhim doesn't care. As such, he doesn't care. He drinks and he collapses. You see all those brothers lying there. And after some time, Yudhishthir is a bit disturbed. It's been a long time. Bhim has not returned. Arjun, you go. Arjun goes and he meets a similar fate. Dead. Nakul, Sahadev, same story. And finally, Yudhishthir himself goes. And Yaksha stops him. He says, till you have answered my questions, don't drink. And Yudhishthir, this time, obedient, agrees. And Yaksha says, you will have your brothers if you answer all my questions, and I'll let you drink that water. Now, there are 100-odd questions. Some say 80. I've not seen the whole list. No, there were 100 around. Yes. One of the questions was, what is the most astonishing thing in this world? इस भौतिक जगत में सबसे आश्चर्य की क्या बात है? Yaksha is asking Yudhishthir, what is the most astonishing thing in this world?
He was telling about people are dying.
Yes.
People are dead.
Yes. Thank you very much. Perfect. And Yudhishthir's answer was, people you see in your own family, someone has died. Just couple of days, 3 days ago, we had a group of our schoolmates, you can say, from the maritime field. And he's gone. So our batchmates, 12 out of 220, 12 have gone. And just we had one message last week, he's gone. Oh, we know we all have to go. We all have seen death. But somehow we feel my turn will never come. अपने परिवार में हम मृत्यु देखते हैं, लेकिन हमें हमेशा यही लगता है मेरे साथ नहीं होगा ये. It's like animal which is about to be taken to the slaughterhouse. वो घास खा रहा है, he's having the feed, He sees the other animal being taken inside, but he is happily eating grass, not realizing you are next. तेरी अगली बारी है. Okay. So just keeping in mind, the purpose of telling this is how important this human form of life is. Before death will come to all of us. However, before that comes, let's do as much good in devotional service as we can to make the best use of this body. आएगी जरूर, मृत्यु आएगी जरूर, but it is up to us how best we can use it, this gross body and the subtle body. So we stop here. ग्रंथ राज श्रीमद् भागवत गीता की, प्रभुपाद की, ताई गौ प्रेमानंदे, हरि बोल. So should, thank you. So